Hi, it's Jen from Shabby Fabrics. Today I have a beautiful quilt behind me called Standing Strong. You may have seen this before and you are correct. I designed this over 6 years ago with a different patriotic collection, and I had the Quilt of Valor Foundation in mind when I designed it. Now, if that's a new term to you, let me share what that is. The mission of the Quilt of Valor Foundation is to cover service members and veterans touched by war with comforting and healing quilts of valor. So if you have someone in your family, a circle of friends perhaps, that's a veteran, I would love to encourage you to consider making this quilt and giving it to that person. Now, the Quilt of Valor Foundation has a lot of incredible information on their website. The link is absolutely in the description box. I encourage you to go learn more about making and donating quilts to service members. They have specific fabric requirements to be able to be a Quilt of Valor, and this certainly meets those requirements. And obviously you can see you might want to keep it for yourself. It's beautiful to just have and of course display, or perhaps use it as a picnic. Maybe you can even make one for yourself and one to give to a service member, just an idea. So this particular collection is called America the Beautiful by Deb Strain for Moda Fabrics. And we have these beautiful kits prepared for us with you in mind, and we have really pretty backing. So we have a limited amount of those that you can grab, and you will also be receiving a full color pattern, and that will be specifically geared for this project. Now here's the cool thing. We're also offering the pattern all by itself. So if you have a stash of red, white, and blue fabrics that you'd like to just grab that pattern, go ahead and do that. We just want more quilts to be made for Quilt of Valor. And with the purchase of the pattern, we'll be donating 20% of the sale of that pattern over to the Quilt of Valor Foundation. We're big supporters of them. We very much appreciate the military and all of the families that really make our freedoms possible through their sacrifice. So thank you so much for that. So what's included inside your Standing Strong pattern is, first thing we do is we have a requirement material list. This particular project, and I'll kind of jump forward in the pattern just a touch, really requires, as you can see, a very specific arrangement and layout that you need to be careful about so that the quilt comes out looking the way that it does. And getting yourself organized up front is part of the key to the success of this quilt. So we have a full color layout, and we talk about blue 1, blue 2, blue 3, and so on, red 1, white 1. So you'll use this sheet with either the fabrics that are included in the kit, and if you are purchasing the kit, you would be laying your fabrics out. These are just squares of fabric right here, or you would be laying those out. But let's say that you're buying the pattern and using your own red, white, and blue fabrics. Whatever you decide your blue 1 is, and we have our fabric requirements included, you'll just put a little bit of a snip of that fabric and just glue that there. That'll help keep you organized. So that's step 1 that we knew was important. Later on, after we've cut our fabrics and we get ready to assemble our rows, and we go ahead and assemble these in columns, I should say, not rows, in columns. Once you have that column piece, you'll go ahead and pin the piece, the paper, you'll just cut those out. You just pin that to that column and put it aside. You'll piece column B, and you'll pin that and put it aside, and so on and so forth, all the way to W. So that's what that page is all about inside your pattern. What's great about this quilt is it's perfect for either a beginner all the way to advanced. Everybody has a great time making these projects, and you feel good when it's done. What I love about this for beginner quilters is there's not really very many, actually any intricate cuts. You're simply starting with your fabric, cutting 2.5-inch strips, and I would love to encourage you toward this ruler because it is 2.5. You don't have to find 2.5 inches wide on a larger ruler. This is that. So cut your strips. Then from that, our pattern will guide us into how many, let me just go to this page right here, where it's saying, okay, you're going to have, some are going to be 2.5-inch long, 4.5, 6.5, 8.5, 10.5. That's it. That's all you have to do is cut out the amount of those the pattern instructs you to, and then referencing this next page, you're simply sewing those columns together. Now I've done 4 of those columns and just sewn them together so you can see what that would look like. So let me just put these aside. This quilt comes together very, very quickly because it's not intricate. It's very simple. So just have that 10.5, 10.5, this whole column. And then of course, as our pattern is showing us, now we start off with a 2.5 with a longer log, longer strip, and we keep coming down. And then, so this is a 2, a 4, a 6. The next one would be an 8 and a 10, and you just start again. The pattern will absolutely talk you through all of that. So you can see this is very simple. And what I love too, notice how these seams are offset. You don't have to pin and make that perfect. Now we do need our columns to be the same height at the top, but I love that they're not having all these intersections that need to be pinned just perfectly. So that's another great reason it's perfect for a beginner. If you are going to be using the kit, just be mindful of the fabrics that have the words on them so that you are not flipping those kind of back and forth. It's kind of nice if the word America is reading, if I turn my head this way, it's upright and upright here. So something to think about with that. And then with the pretty ribbon fabric, you may want to fussy cut your fabric just so that you're running parallel with your stripes. So this is a really beautiful quilt. It comes together nicely if you're a beginner. This is a great one to grab. And of course, as I mentioned before, if you are inclined to donate that to a service member through the Quilts of Valor Foundation, how fun that is to be able to sew and know that someone's going to be blessed on the other end of that once you're done with the quilt. So thank you for letting me show you about this beautiful new quilt, talk about the Quilts of Valor Foundation, and I'll see you soon on another Shabby video.